So the Indianapolis Colts will not be quitting on Jonathan Taylor. I expect Taylor to play for the Colts at some point during this season, whether it's week 5, whether it's a little later. But I think he's going to come back from this PUP list after the deadline, and I think he's going to play for the Colts. And if he plays really well, I could see him get an extension. If he doesn't play well, we might be in the same situation again next year. I don't want to franchise tag him. Chris Ballard already said that, it's a tool. He didn't say he would. He didn't say he wouldn't. But I think it's good news. It's not really news. It's not really, confirming that he's going to play. But I think from the sounds of it, and Jonathan Taylor would kind of be forced to play if he wants a contract extension, if he wants a value that he wants to be extended at. So this is a big time. This is big time. Chris Ballard in the presser on Wednesday did state that he will not quit on Jonathan Taylor and that relationships are repairable. So I think there is some optimism here for Jonathan Taylor remaining an Indianapolis Colt for a little while yet, at least for this season. I do not see Jonathan Taylor being traded, as Chris Ballard and the Colts have stated. It's over. They're not trading him. They did not get the value that they expected or that they would want for Jonathan Taylor, and it's understandable. He's a running back. Not a lot of teams are going to want to give up a first-round pick for a running back in the first place. And now he's coming off of a season-ending ankle injury, had the surgery, reportedly still having problems with it, 7, almost 8 months later, and he reportedly reported to training camp and failed his physical and suffered some kind of back injury while training over in Arizona. Now, hopefully his little back injury wasn't really serious, because I know I've stated before, no back injury is minor, but there are some, when you just pull a muscle, that's a minor back injury. But, a lot of back injuries are not as minor as that. A lot of times when you hear a back injury, it's very bad. It's very bad, like a broken back or, maybe a slipped disc. There's a lot of different scenarios where the back can go wrong. And, the way the running back shelf life is right now, as it's sitting currently, coming off of a season-ending ankle surgery and reportedly dealing with some back injuries and back problems, who's going to want to give up a first-round pick for that? No one wants to give, not many teams wouldn't be surprised if any team would want to give up a first-round pick on top of that, or, just by itself, even if he was a great running back, if it wasn't, but, he did have one elite season, and then he was on his way to his second elite season. The offensive line wasn't great last year. That didn't help him. As the season went on, it got better, but then, and he did look all right at some points. He had a really good game. I think it was versus the Raiders. He absolutely killed it. Came back and ran for like almost 150 or 160. He had an incredible game. And then, versus the Minnesota Vikings, that was the last time we've seen him that year. And quite frankly, that was one of the worst games of the year. There were a lot last year. There were a lot of bad games, but let's not talk about it too much. I don't know even why I brought it up. I don't really want to. But it's, I'm getting some optimism. I feel optimistic that we will see Jonathan Taylor at, on week 5 when he's ready to, his, maybe his ankle's better, because Chris Ballard said that he's still dealing with ankle issues. Was Jim Irsay jumping the gun in the offseason and saying that Jonathan Taylor will be better? He's all ready to go. Was Jim Irsay jumping the gun? It's something, that could have been done. Jim Irsay might have gotten a little excited and just blurted it out, which it would not surprise me. Jim Irsay is very, vocal. He's very upfront and, optimistic, and sometimes it's for the good, sometimes it's for the bad. This time, maybe it doesn't look good, but it sounds like someone is lying. We'll see. Honestly, I don't think Jonathan Taylor is making this as big of a deal as it seems. I 100% believe it's his agent, because, a month prior, Jonathan Taylor stated that he wants to be a Colt for life. And, he did attend that running back meeting with all the running backs about all this going on. And maybe that lit a fire under him. But what if Jonathan Taylor is being lied to by the agent? I'm getting a feeling that the agent is lying to Jonathan Taylor, and that is what is, that's what's going on. Because JT has came out and said a few things on Twitter, like, I'm not, I don't have, ankle problems or back problems. This is not true. None of this is true. He said that on Twitter. whatever injury it was at the time, he said that he was fine and he was healthy. So someone's lying, something's going on, and honestly, I am like 85-90% sure that it's got to be his agent lying to him and trying to turn him against the Colts so that he can go somewhere else and ultimately be paid more, so then that agent gets a bigger percentage of what John Taylor gets. Because the bigger contract that John Taylor gets, the more the agent is going to get. So is he trying to really turn Jonathan Taylor against the Colts so he goes somewhere else and gets as much as he possibly could? Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think of it that way? That's the way I've been kind of thinking about it. And, when Chris Ballard was asking the presser about the agent, how has the communication been? Chris Ballard, frankly, said, before he said anything, he like chuckled, and then he goes, it's not good to be pointing fingers. That's not the way to solve things. So it's telling me something. There's some fighting going on behind the scenes. So I'm really interested to see how the situation is going to pan out. I don't think it's Jonathan Taylor. I don't think it's Jonathan Taylor pulling this fiasco off, but I would like you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think the Colts, do you think Jonathan Taylor will play for the Colts this season? It would be awesome. I'd love to see Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson in the same backfield. And if we still have Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, or Evan Hull, because I'm not, Colts probably aren't going to want to keep 4 running backs. Maybe if you cut Molly Cox, you could keep, I apologize, that extra running back, maybe another receiver instead of just 4. We'll see. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you do not miss any future videos. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.